Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Be Real, Get Real with Women's Prosperity Network. I am Trish Carr, your host, and it is my pleasure to be here today with a very special guest that you are going to find quite fascinating. We always try to bring you the most interesting stories, and it's really about the people at Be Real, Get Real, because when you are real, in today's world, that's not so easy, right? With social media, we're all so happy and everything's great. But the truth is, when you can be yourself, be authentic, then you can get real. And then because you're getting real and you're truly authentically you, you achieve real results. So our show every week is brought to you to meet one of our incredible members at Women's Prosperity Network and to get to know her, not necessarily to get to know what she does and to promote her business, but to get to know her because people do business with people. They don't do business with businesses. So you want to like the people you do business with, right? Give me a yes, yes, yes in the comments if that's the truth for you. And since you're here today, I would love to invite you, whether you're watching on replay or you're watching this live, go ahead and invite your friends. Click on that button down there that says share. You see that little thing there says share. Go ahead and share this to your timeline because I know that they are going to also be really interested about this woman I'm about to introduce to you. So comfortable, got a glass of water. I got my water. I also have my coffee. I have both going on here, so I'm double fisted. So just get something, chill out with me for about 15 minutes, and I want to introduce you to Dr. Ynge. Dr. Ynge was born and raised in Sweden, and she graduated as a chemical engineer. Very interesting background. And after she lived in Bangladesh and Venezuela, so the woman's been around the world, she came to the US where she graduated in 1995 as an acupuncture physician specializing in allergy elimination. And let me tell you, the allergies that she tells us about are ones that we would never consider. When we think of allergies, we think of hay fever and ragweed and being allergic to things in the air and particular foods. But allergies goes way beyond that. So many of the things that happen inside our body are caused by allergies. So Dr. Ynge is on a mission. And since 2006, when she launched her Allergy Kit, which is a DIY, do it yourself, really simple process to eliminate allergies, she's helped thousands of people. But here's the really cool part. It's not just helping people get rid of allergies in the traditional way. It gets rid of belly fat. Did you hear me? Belly fat. It gets rid of belly fat, brain fog, and burnout, something that many of us deal with. One of those three or all of those three. She also can get rid of behavior and digestive problems. Like, you know how you have these, sometimes it's acid reflux, just take something. Well, Dr. Ynge shows you how to get rid of it. And here's the awesome thing that I love about Dr. Ynge. April is Autism Month, and Dr. Ynge is really on a mission to work with children on the autism spectrum so that they can benefit. And she's had amazing results. So let me go ahead and bring her on. She is awesome. Dr. Ynge, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're with me today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, it's my pleasure. So you've been working with allergies for a really long time, and I know that you've helped thousands of people. And as I mentioned, it is
Oh,
Autism Awareness Month,
yes.
right? April. And how did you get, before we get into your background story, which is really fascinating about how you've traveled around and what happened when you came to the US, but how did you get involved with autism in particular?
It was over 22, 23 years ago when autism wasn't really known. They were talking about ADD and ADHD, but that wasn't that common either. But around that time, 98, 99, 2000, I started to get patients who came in with their kids who were on the spectrum. Some were diagnosed, others were not, but they couldn't handle them. And I saw the struggles the parents had, because nobody told them or knew anything really about how to handle it. So they suffered, they were sleepless, they didn't know what to do. These kids had these horrible outbreaks and meltdowns, and they were spending a lot of money on therapies. Often I saw that marriages broke up. Often the husband, not so much the mother, but the husband would leave, he couldn't handle it. So the poor mother was left with everything. And that it touched my heart so much that I couldn't help but start to learn about it. And I realized that allergies had a lot to do with the outbreaks, for example. And even though I've had a lot of kids that have become totally so-called normal, whatever that is, but finished university and so forth, I just, it helps anybody because of the allergies that these kids suffer from. And even if we take away the outbreaks, the behavior problems, the other problems they have constipation and diarrhea or both, and tummy pain. So they have a lot of digestive issues due to allergies. And that's why this is not instead of treatment for autism at all. I don't say that or claim that, but their lives can get better. They can get better sleep, they can feel better, and they can have sometimes amazing results.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. With more and more children being identified as on the spectrum, it's so important that there be options to deal with those everyday symptoms. And not only are you helping the child with autism, you're doing such a service for the parents, because it helps them to deal with those, make those issues be relieved. Oh my gosh, it would be so much easier.
No, that was really what as I said, my heart bled for, was the parents. How hard it is to take care of these kids.
Yeah.
And they are so smart. Mostly they are very, very smart. It's hidden behind all these allergies and the energy just to have these outbursts and banging of heads and so forth. It's very, very hard for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, thank you for doing what you do. And, we were talking a little earlier, and you were saying how you lived you told us how you lived in Bangladesh and you lived in Venezuela. And that was because of your husband's work, right? He was traveling around. And then how did you end up in the US? How did that come about? And I know that was in the early 90s, right?
Yes. So I divorced and around 86 from my husband. He went back to Sweden, but I stayed in Venezuela and worked as a potter there. And then I met a guy from the States, from Miami. And we were dating for a couple of years. And then he asked me to come over. And so we were going to, be a couple. And I came over December of 1990. And yeah, it did not work.
Oh, so you followed the man and it didn't work.
Yes. So after about I don't remember how much it was, about a year maybe, I just couldn't handle it anymore and broke off. And I think when I think back, it was very brave because I had no money. He had spent the little money I had. I had no work permit. And I had rented my house and the workshop I more or less gave away. So I had nothing in Venezuela to go back to. And I was sitting one day on the beach because I had a beautiful apartment on the beach that I didn't know how to pay the rent for.
Right.
And I was sitting, I said, well, it's probably the best to become shark food. I really contemplated that. And then it was as if something just put two cymbals and boing on my head. And I kind of woke up and the voice said, your rent is paid this month. You still have some food left in the fridge. What are you whining about?
Wow, that's a nice revelation. Good voice to hear.
Yes, and it was really necessary at that time.
Of
So
course,
I
because
don't know.
we didn't want you to be shark food.
No, and I was thinking about that. It was probably only the bathing suit that would survive.
Well, luckily we didn't go there.
Yes, luckily. And so things solved. I got a job. It was at a resort for German women because I'm fluent in German. That lasted over the winter. And then I got a roommate. So I was kind of set up. But then that work was not anymore. And I had to search for something else. My roommate was an artist, and he was going to paint a mural in Miami. And we were going to check the job, what we were going to do. And on the way there, we had to get the car. And there was some work going on in the garage and some things laying on the floor that I, of course, didn't see. I never looked down. So I tripped and broke my wrist in 5 places. So there would not be any kind of artwork for a while. And I was really at a loss again. But I don't really know how I dared to do that either. I went to the acupuncture school and signed up. And really didn't have any money there either. I had enough for just signing up, but that was it. But God is good. Always something good happened and I got money. I think at that time I sold my house in Venezuela. That saved me. But I didn't even think about it. I just went on and did the things I just wanted to do. And it always solved itself in one way or another.
You know, it's first of all fascinating that you were left here, you had nothing, sitting on the beach thinking, okay, I have nothing, I might as well just walk in the ocean, to becoming a doctor who has literally worked with thousands of people and changed their lives. So I, for one, am thrilled that the sharks didn't get you. And I know that the people who were lucky enough to work with you feel the same way. You know, it sounds like, so when, it sounds like courage, determination, commitment, and all those things when you say it, courage, determination, commitment, they sound hard. Like you got to really work at it. You got to pull up your big girl panties. But it sounds like for you, you just took the next step and you did what you thought was the best thing. And it wasn't really heavy on you. Is that true?
It was stressful. At times
Okay.
It was very stressful when you come to the 28 and where do you get the rent from?
Yeah.
But it's amazing, really, how things just fall in your lap. I don't know if that's faith or what is that called? The attraction of the law of attraction.
It could be.
So I
It
think
could be allowing the universe to give you what it's going to give you. God, the universe, Allah, whatever.
And I think about that sometimes, exactly that allowing, as you say. It's just at the point when you are almost at the deepest point in your life,
Right.
and you just let it go, like these symbols that came in my ears, and then things solve themselves.
Yeah, it's easy to say, but it's another thing to get to it, to
Yeah.
just get, the more we allow, the more good things happen to us, the more good things happen for us. And you're a perfect example of that, as someone who just said, I'm going to just do the next step. And despite the stress, you just continued on. So, you're a perfect example of when we trust and allow, we get what we need next. And if you look back, and I'm saying this to everybody who's with us right now, if you look back over your time on this earth, you'll probably find that you might have been pushed all the way to the brink, like Dr. Ynge. But somehow it always works out, right?
Well, I didn't have any other choice either.
Right.
And I think that's where the opening of receiving comes.
Mm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I want other people, I know just from knowing you and learning from you, that the term allergy is, like I was saying at the beginning, is one of those things that we all, oh, I know what an allergy is. I ate something that gave me hives, or I rubbed against the wrong plant. But it really goes deeper than that. And I know that one of the things you share with people are, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen so everybody can go. 10 surprising facts about allergies that you did not know. So I really urge all of you to go to Dr. Ynge, and that's with a Y.com, and get 10 surprising facts about allergies. Putting you on the spot, is there one thing you can share with us that's a surprising fact about allergies?
Depression, I would say.
Oh, really?
Yes, that people are depressed. And, I think one of the most common meds today are these happy pills that everybody is popping.
Yes.
And the depression does not come from the head. So it really is no use to make yourself feel like a zombie. Instead, work on your digestive system and find out what allergies you have, or go to the Allergy Kit. Because the feel-good hormones, serotonin, they are produced, well, maybe not 100%, but at least over 90%, it's produced in the gut, not in the brain. And the dopamine, the other happy hormone, is a neurotransmitter, is dopamine, yes, which is, repeating that, it's 50% is produced in the gut.
So, we hear more and more about the gut lately with having probiotics, and you're just verifying that that's, again, the case, that it's really in our gut, and the Allergy Kit will help us to identify that and then know what to do about it.
Eliminate. Yeah, so I have kids, and everybody is, I use the word allergy loosely because my product is called the Allergy Kit, but it includes also intolerances and sensitivities. So everybody is more or less sensitive to the same things. So I have a basic kit that contains those basic allergens, sensitivities. And by treating yourself for these, you will feel better. And you will also realize what you are allergic to more. Because when you start to feel good, oh, I had that. Now I don't feel so good. If you feel kind of blah, blah the whole time, you really don't know what it is that's doing something to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Ynge. And I think you said at drynge.com, there's also a way to reach out to you, and that you would be happy to have a conversation with anybody who's dealing with any type of physical malfunction, if you will, as opposed, and including, now that you tell me, depression and mental issues. You never know. I had a friend who's been going to doctor after doctor after doctor for her stomach issues, and the Allergy Kit is the answer. So this is a really easy, simple way to find out, is it something outside of me that's causing this in my stomach, that's causing everything in my body? So be sure to reach out to Dr. Ynge. And Dr. Ynge, when you have that conversation, it's just a few minutes to kind of identify what's happening with people and then figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I always get some kind of idea, and we talk about it. I also do the body code for some people who get stuck, and that can sometimes be very revealing also. And one tips is that what you crave is what you're allergic to most of the times.
So if I'm craving nuts, I'm allergic to nuts.
You could be. I don't say it's always, but very often, for example, sugar and wheat, that's what people crave. And that is also what gives you the belly fat and
Yeah.
brain fog. So
So with the allergy kit, not only will you be able to deal with whatever's eating you, as they say, but you'll also get rid of belly fat and brain fog
and the cravings, that's the most important thing. You get
and the
good cravings,
cravings.
and then you can stay away from those foods. Otherwise, if you have cravings and you're addicted to them, it's very hard.
Yes, and they're created to make you addicted. So you're really fighting what the food is actually doing in your body. Dr. Ynge, such an interesting story. I, for one, am so glad that you did not become shark bait and that you did continue on, become an acupuncture physician, become a naturopath, become a doctor, so that you can make a difference for people. And I know that you've done that for thousands. So please, if you're watching us and you have any issues or you know someone who does, be in touch with Dr. Ynge at the Allergy Kit. And let's end it. Let's let it go away. So, Dr. Ynge, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for being real and getting real and sharing your story, because we all have stories that we came from. And the more we know about each other, like Dr. Ynge, here's a question. How many languages do you speak?
I read and write 4, and I manage in another 2 or 3.
4 you can read and write in, and you can get by.
Yeah.
So that's in and of itself is so impressive.
Thank you.
Really? So I know German, Swedish, Spanish. What's the
English.
4th one?
English.
Oh, English, duh. And what are the other 2 you can get by in?
Well, I'm pretty good at Danish, which is similar. Well,
Similar.
Norwegian too. And French, I get by. I just have to practice a little bit or read something and then to get in it. Italian also, and Portuguese. So it's if I can use my arms and my legs, I get by pretty good.
Yes, especially if you can do it with Italian and Portuguese and all of
And then
that.
with Spanish and French, there are so many similarities.
Exactly, exactly. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dr. Ynge, for being with us today. Thank you all for being a part of the Be Real, Get Real podcast. Make sure that you get your membership started at womensprosperityNetwork.com. If you haven't already, you can join for as much as free.
And
So get your membership.
you won't regret it either.
Thank you for that. You'll be happy that you did,
Yes.
for sure. So again, thank you again, Dr. Ynge. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. We will see you again next time with another episode of Be Real, Get Real.